Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez and Pat Sherwood, continuing to work our way down the Masters categories. Today, talking about the women of the 40 to 44-year-old division. And this is going to be a lot of fun to watch at the Games because the champ is back. A couple of perennial contenders have aged up, but there are some intriguing newcomers who promise to push for a spot on the podium.
And one of the newcomers is an original gangster of the community, Annie Sakamoto. I mean, I couldn't be more excited. I grew up in this sport watching her, and now I get to see her compete as a master.
We're very fortunate that she lives nearby to us. We get to see her on the regular, so I'm stoked for her. But there's also another athlete that has the possibility to not just qualify in the Masters category, but also in the regular individual women's category as well.
Well, last year at the Games in this division, it was Janet Black, and it was everybody else. She had 614 total points. No one really got close to that. Karen McAdam finished second, had a good battle for the final two spots on the podium between McAdam, Allen, and Cheryl Brost. Brost only missing out by 6 points. And then a woman we're going to talk about here in a second, Jen Hauser, finishes in sixth place. But when you look at Janet Black, she's back again this year. Why could she be this dominant again?
She's only a year better than she was last year. She's tied for second in the Open. And last year, her victory when she became champion, it was decisive. 6 out of 7 events were top 5 finishes, so she can do it all. She's incredibly well-rounded. She went to the Games in 2014 as a master, and then rewind the clock even more back to 2013. She was on a team with Atomic CrossFit, so tons of experience. She's out of CrossFit WMD. How amazing of a name is that? And at 42 years young, she's still on the younger side of that division, so she has everything going for her.
You mentioned Jen Hauser sitting in sixth place. Tommy, I know you're impressed with her. Why do you think she could be a contender?
Well, she fits the term a year older, a year wiser, because it seems like she's just continuing to improve with every competition. Last year in the Open, she was sixth place. Then she goes on to the Masters qualifier. Then she's ninth. Then she improves to sixth. Get back to this year in the Open, she's improved again. In 16.4, she got through a full round and then through 45 of the deadlifts. Nearly got back to the wall balls. For a Masters woman, that is crazy. She got to the 205-pound barbell in 16.2. She didn't get a lift there, but she did well enough to get to that barbell. She smashed 16.1. She won it for her division. You look at some of her stats. She's got a 242 Fran, a 170-pound snatch, and it just seems like she's improving with every single competition.
And those are the names that we saw last year at the Games. There are a lot of intriguing newcomers, like I said at the top of the show here, that will be joining this division. And when you look at the Open Leaderboard, they're all towards the top. Helen Harding, 40 years old, her first year in this division. She won the final 3 events of the Open. Jen Hauser sits there in second. Janet Black. Annie Sakamoto is in fourth. You have Jolene Undershoot and Karen McAdam. And we spoke with Helen Harding, and she's really happy with the way that her season has been going so far.
There was a few factors. Probably there wasn't a 1 rep max in this year's Open, which helped me. Last year, that really knocked me right down the leaderboard, and it took me the whole of the rest of the Open to crawl back into the top 30. Whereas this year, 16.2 did obviously get heavy, but yeah, I think the workouts were better. I'm a lot more well-rounded than I was a year ago, so my skills are better. I'm definitely stronger, and yeah, actually. Yeah, I enjoyed the workouts. They were all pretty good, actually. They were quite Helen friendly.
Helen Harding has been extremely impressive so far through the Open. What has made her so good?
Well, to start, she's had all top 3 finishes in her division in the Open, including 3 straight workout wins to close out the Open this year. You look at what that looked like specifically in 16.3, she got 10 rounds and change, and that nasty arm burner of a muscle up and snatch couplet. Then in 16.5, she finishes another nasty couplet in just 9:05. Those workout scores are so impressive and so good that in the worldwide scale, in the individual women's category, not just the Masters, she was 4th in Australia ahead of Ruth Anderson Harrell and the 3rd fittest woman on the planet, Tia Claire Toomey. For a Masters athlete to be in the top 5 in your region and have an opportunity at this point to make it to the Games, not just as a master, at this era of the CrossFit Games, that is unprecedented.
Speaking of unprecedented, I mean, it is strange, almost surreal to sit up here and talk about Annie Sakamoto now being a master.
This deserves some reverence, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking about history right now. I know you enjoy CrossFit history. Some names are just etched in there, and Annie Sakamoto's one of them. She's part of that original Nasty Girls video, which is arguably one of the most known and watched CrossFit workout videos of all time. She was in almost every video I used to watch back in the day of like, how do you do this stuff? She was incredible. She also qualified as an individual in NorCal this year, took 11th. So she's just that good, just like some other athletes in this division. When you have that body of work, she's been doing it for so long, she's a legitimate threat in this division.
Yeah, this division is going to be a blast to watch, not only through the Masters qualifier, but also when we get to Carson. That's it for us for today. When we come back next time, we're looking at the 40 to 44-year-old division for the men. For Pat Sherwood and Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland, and we'll see you next time.